Hey YouTube, it's Paul and Gary coming at you from Nha Trang.
Hello.
Anyway, real quick, I just wanted to give you guys a little update. Been here about 10 days now, and I'm still really digging it here at Nha Trang. One thing, we're at a coffee shop. It's called Mocha, and it's cute, quaint, very classy little place. And one thing that struck me is that, and this is God's truth, if you ever come here, if you're living in the Philippines now, or if you've been there before, they have coffee shops here almost as frequently as they have sari-sari stores in the Philippines. And each and every one of them's got its own little kick to it. They all serve hot and cold coffees. You guys, if you know me at all, you know that I'm a coffeeaholic. And I've had a tough time here finding a coffee that I like. A lot of it's Vietnamese and this and that and the other. So I'll give you a report when I get back. But I have found a few places that I've found to my liking, and that's about that. Oh, and I got to ask you guys in the beginning of the video to subscribe, because I never do that. So there, that's my commercial. So anyway, I was sitting outside the hotel, not the hotel, but his condominium the other day. And I was watching a couple coming from, they were American, and they were pulling their luggage, and they were getting into their room, and the kids were there. And I could see the stress on the husband's face. The guy was like, I won't repeat his language, but he was pretty much letting everybody know that they need to just shut up and gather up and get the stuff, and we're gonna get inside the hotel room. And I thought to myself, man, I remember those days when I used to go on vacation with my wife and kids. It was like I couldn't wait to get home. But when you got home, you always had these great pictures, you know, the sunsets and everybody having a meal and this and that. It wasn't reflective at all of what really happened. And so I'm happy to tell you that everything that you see on the videos that I do from here are really, really true, and what really reflect what happened to me. I'm in a little different position than my friend that I saw trying to get his family into the hotel room. But we talked about that the other night, so I thought I'd hand it over to you. You had a really cool analogy of traveling that you picked up in timeshare or something like that. Would you mind sharing it with the peeps?
Not at all, not at all. Yeah, quite a few years ago, I sold timeshare in Cancun, Mexico. Lived down there for about a year and a half, and really found out, number one, that most people, now I'm talking about North Americans, they don't take a vacation. They really don't. Like once every 6-7 years, they're just not vacationers. Staycationers, you know, they stay at home maybe for a long weekend or something like that. So consequently, they're not in tune with how to take a vacation. You know, they read all the advertisements, like Paul was saying, with the sunsets and the this and the that. It's all dreamland. And, you know, it takes you 2 to 3 weeks just to unwind from your job, from everyday trials and tribulations that you come to, or go through. So people don't know how to take a vacation, and then they get there, and there's a language barrier, and there's travel barriers, and they're tired, and it just is all messed up, you know, and then they fight, and then there's more stress because they think they're on vacation to relax, and really they have more stress than what they had back home. So
is there a cure for that? I mean, is there something like you can plan or do? Because you've traveled, 25 countries? So.
Yeah, I find even in life, the biggest thing is that the higher degree of your expectation, the higher degree of your upset when you don't reach that pinnacle. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So you really have to go into it open-minded and forget about yesterday, forget about tomorrow. I mean, just embrace today, that you're with your family, or you're alone, or you're in a foreign country. Just accept it. You got to be open-minded, and that's really tough to do for a lot of people, to be open-minded and to let go of their biases, just to accept other cultures. So I think that's the biggest thing, is don't accept. It's like going to a movie. I mean, a lot of people are disappointed because they want a blockbuster. Well, not every movie is a blockbuster. Not every vacation, you know, is going to make Time magazine. So you just have to accept it for what it is, and love life. It's a journey. It's not a destination. So it's the expect of what's happening, and the open-mindedness, and the accepting of other people and other cultures if you travel far from home. So that's kind of the way I view life. Take it as it comes. Don't be angry. I get angry though. I do. But I let go of it, you know what I mean? It's not malicious. I don't fight people. I don't, I'm not vindictive. I just, I'm opinionated. That's what I am. And that's that. What else, Paulie? But all I got on vacationing, I think.
All right. So, your time here in Nha Trang.
Yes.
You've been here how long?
2 months this time.
So you've already been in country 2 months?
Yeah.
Really?
November 1st is when I got here. Today's about the 28th of December.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
right.
So almost 2 months.
So I've been here 10 days or so. What do you like about Nha Trang and or Vietnam? And then, if anything, what is your drawbacks? Where would the pullback be? If guys are watching this and saying, "Hey, I want to go there," what would be your sage advice for reasons to go and maybe a reason or two not to go?
Well, you'd have to
watch out for.
Yeah. You'd have to love the beach because it's a beach destination.
I'm gonna plug this in.
With the water, the turquoise water. What time of year you go anywhere is indicative of what kind of time you're going to have. Good time, bad time, indifferent. It rains here on and off. Now, since Paul's been here the past 10 days, it hasn't rained once. It's been just stellar weather, bright skies, sunshine, rainbows, green trees, turquoise waters. I mean, you couldn't write a script any better for the weather than what it's been. But in a previous video that Paul and I did, I had mentioned that Nha Trang is modern. It's not for a single man, to go on a vacation and think he's going to, score up with somebody. It's very conservative here. I'd mentioned that I had married a Vietnamese girl, and we had been chaperoned for about 2 months. I mean, one of her family members was with us. We'd go for walks. We'd go to the movies. We'd go out to dinner, whatever. And there's always one or two family members with us. That's the dating scene. It's almost like America was 50 years ago or whatever, 60 years ago. It's a family place. A lot of Russians here, a lot of Chinese.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Russians for a minute.
Oh boy.
I'll tell you what, the Russians know how to make a meal.
Yeah.
The food here is over the top. I mean, we've had what do we had? We had if you go to breakfast here, it's like one day you can have eggs Benedict, the next day you can have hummus,
pork chops,
and it's the real deal. It's not some rinky-dinky thing, And I think breakfast for a high dollar type of breakfast, if you will, was about $7 a copy per person with coffee. And then on the low end, I think this morning I had the proverbial pork chop, rice, and something else. Oh, an egg and coffee, and it was $3. So you can go to that end of the spectrum also. And you pretty much get what you pay for, just like in life. But the food here is awesome.
They seem to be restaurateurs.
The Russians.
The Russians are. They know the presentation is there. You both get your food at the same time. It's hot. It's really good, and it's inexpensive. So the Russians have done a great job. When I lived here before, back in 2013-14, they were really starting to come into Nha Trang and buying businesses and buildings and tour operations and things like that. Now that I've came back 6 or so years later, it's very prevalent. Most of your businesses, even if they're not Russian-owned, the advertising is in Russian, and they do a really stand-up job.
Yeah, I was kind of weirded out when I heard that a lot of Russians were here. My perception of what Russians are, and these mean kind of Boris guys that are going to stomp you. And maybe they are, but I don't see them. I can tell you one thing though: they can run a restaurant operation.
Yeah.
Honest to God, there's a lot of Russian tourists here also. They love the beach. That's pretty much where they congregate to. Go out in the suntan, go to the beach. I don't go to the beach because I live at the beach. So for me, I'm a mountain guy anyway. May and I like to get on the gay little scooter and go up to the mountains. Beach doesn't really float my boat. But that's just personal preferences. So Gary, he loves the beach. And you look out at his apartment and there's the beach. So let's talk a little bit, and then we'll wrap her up because we're at 10 minutes. But let's talk a little bit about your apartment. Now, you mentioned that it cost $650, and some guys were squealing about the $650. But I think you can't put a value on something until you know what it is. So you can't just throw out there that I pay $200 a month for rent, and aren't I great? Because what does that mean? I mean, what does that mean? Gary pays $650. Well, what does that mean? You know, what do you get? So maybe you can give the folks a little rundown of what $650 buys you.
Yeah, well,
and please keep understanding that there's 300, 400, 500.
That's what I was going to say. You know, if you want to pay $280,
your place has
$280 a month, that's there. If you want to spend more, it's available. But I live in a high-rise, 30th floor. I have a view of the city from the living room. I have it's a 2-bedroom, and I have a view of the ocean from both bedrooms, and that's furnished. That's color TV. That's stove, refrigerator, couch, 2 beds, closet space, 2 bathrooms, hot water, very modern. You know, there's 8 elevators. It's a huge building. There's 8 elevators, and there's a lot of shops down below. You really wouldn't even have to leave the area that I live in. There's many, many restaurants within the complex, if you will. And then just the very next street over, and then the street over to that is lined with restaurants and little coffee shops and nail salons, barber shops, massage, whatever you would need. And it's very modern there. So that's what you get for the $650. Now the same building has apartments for $400. So you're talking, the difference is the type of furniture, the amount of furniture, and the view is what you pay the extra couple of $100 a month for. I'm here, for 6 months, and I enjoy resort style living instead of just plain, having an apartment. And that's just me. So, it's a nice place. You can do it for less. My budget here is about $1,800 a month. What was his name? Gino or Gio?
Jim.
Yeah, whatever. He came here to Vietnam for $800, and you could do that. I mean, you could drop from my $657 down to $350. I eat in restaurants every single day. I spend about $20 a day on food at $600 a month. You could easily do that for less on $300. Now all of a sudden you're talking $600. Rent a motorbike for $100. That's $7. So you're eating. You got a place to stay, and maybe $50 for utilities. That's $750. So that's how you get to $800. You get what you pay for. And just according to what your budget is and what your lifestyle is and how much you want to spend on accommodations. I mean, I'm older. I don't really go out all that much. I like my home. I like to be comfortable, cool, calm, collected, and no bugs, no cockroaches, none of that. And it's just a nice clean. They come in and they clean my apartment every week. That's included in that price. It's run by a company. They're very accommodating. I mean, anytime I need something, I call them and say, hey, where can I get this? Where can I get that? Boom. They send me right there. You're not going to find that for $280 a month. You're going to have to make a lot of mistakes, go a lot of places, the hassle. I mean, I'm into lifestyle, and I want it smooth and easy. I don't want those peaks and those valleys in my life. I've been through that. Been there, done that, as they say. So you get what you pay for.
All right. So that's awesome. That's what I kind of wanted to bring to forth on this video. So is that it seems like all the vlogs that I watch, and there's nothing wrong with it, but we all try to talk about how cheap we live and we're on a pension and we're this, that, and that's the truth. But here's the other side of the story, okay? Because Gary and I have been friends for over 30 years. We know each other very, very well. And I know for a fact he's too humble to tell you this, but he spends about $600 a month in cigars back home where he lives. So what's 650 going to do to him. Okay, so I'm not trying to reveal Gary's financial picture to you.
And I don't smoke here, so that $6.50 on cigars I spend there pays for my apartment here.
So it's you've got to just take it. Maybe there's guys out there that are like, I don't want to live in a Nipah hut. I don't want to live on $200 a month. I want a nice place. Where are those guys living? And nobody seems to do vlogs on it. So I thought this is awesome for you guys, or not. And there you go. So yeah, I've been staying at these places. They come in once a week to clean. They'll change out the sheets, give you fresh towels, kind of like a hotel. And then right downstairs is parking. Right downstairs is a taxi or a Grab. Oh, real quick on Grab. We came here in a car, and I think it costs $3 or $4 to go 2.5 miles here into the tourist zone, you call it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's like over a bridge, over a river, and it's 2.5 miles away. It's 4 kilometers. I took a bike over here, back and forth 3 times, a Grab bike, and it was $1 each way, round numbers. Now, we rented a motorbike, or he rented a motorbike for me, and we had to give it back. The brakes didn't work, there's no mirrors on it, they didn't have any others, so I either hop on the back of his, or I take a Grab, or we take a car. But this just a real quick financial update on transportation over here. You can hang on to the back of a bike, Grab bike, come over here. You can go anywhere you want to go within reach here for $1.50, I think would be tops.
At the most, yeah.
And then a car, which you can pile in, 3-4 people, if you got that, is about $4. So
that's round trip.
Round trip. So there you go, kiddos. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Me and Gary will come back at you on another video.
Yep.
Be sure to leave comments, questions. I know we left stuff out, but if you tell us, we'll do our best to try to address that stuff. Okay?
Last video I did answer a couple of the comments, so I'm here for you.
Oh yeah, on the comment deals. I got to apologize, guys. I'm getting caught up on comments. I'm running about 20 hours behind just because him and I are running around. And we got like 200 comments. I think I've got them all. I try to talk to all you guys personally. If I've missed you, don't take it personally. It's just because something got lost somewhere. But I put the comments on hold for review so that it's going to I'll answer you. It's just going to be later. Okay? So make sure you leave comments. And if there's a particular thing that you want us to talk about, we'll be more than happy to accommodate you. Okay? Thanks for checking us out.
Bye kids.